Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins, and Trevor.
Who still plays. I think he's in Miami now, playing for one of David Beckham's teams.
Yeah.
Maradona, who I believe died recently.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure. I probably shouldn't say that, but I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'm sure he did a few months ago. But a wonderful footballer, as is Messi, as I say, probably the best or one of the best in the world. And although England, who sort of invented the modern game, won the World Cup. We won it, didn't we, in 1966, which was a good achievement on home soil, and it was, I gather, a very good team. But really, since then, in England, we've been chasing the better teams. I mean, we tend to qualify for the Euro competition and the World Cup, but very often we don't do that well. Okay, we did get to the final, to be fair, under your friend Gareth Southgate, his team, his English team in the last Euros, and that was a good achievement. But it was a bit ironic, wasn't it? We did lose in the final. We did lose, and even the passage to the final, I don't remember us fans getting overly excited about the style of play. I think it was kind of going out there not to lose rather than to win. But that's perhaps not fair to Southgate. He probably has one of the best, probably the best record of England managers, to be fair. But let's face it, since 1966, which is 60 odd years ago, we haven't won anything. And I don't know how close we think we are to winning anything else. But anyway, that's the development of football. It's a gift to the world from this country. But interestingly, although the association football developed in England, our friends, the Scots, actually lay claim to quite a strong element, and with a lot of justification. When football first was codified, it tended to be a kick and rush sort of game. All the players will be chasing after the ball, a bit like if you start young boys or girls starting to play football, they'd all kind of rush towards the ball and so on. But the Scots claimed they evolved the game as a passing game, and they did. They can correctly lay claim to that. We know nowadays it's a bit like playing chess in a way. It's passing from one player to another, and they get an individual who's very good at going past players, but it is essentially a passing game, and that originated much more in Scotland than it did in England. So it's true to say that football is a gift. We gave it to the world as Britain. It comes from not just England but Scotland as well. Of course, in America, we call it association football. They tend to call it soccer to differentiate from their American football, which of course is a game more like rugby, and they call it soccer. And the word soccer, if you didn't know, comes from the word association, where you have the ASSOC. The SOC forms part of the word soccer, so that's where that comes from. But even in this country, we do still sometimes call it soccer, don't we? But our instincts say football. So that's football, very much a game given to the world. Although other countries, as with all of these things, other countries lay claim to things. But I think there's a general acceptance that soccer, the English, or that football itself, the modern game of football, came from Britain. Yeah. So that's that. The next game we might look at, we mentioned rugby, because American football, for anyone who's ever watched that, and it's quite an exciting game, is kind of a version of rugby. Very different in other ways, but it does have its roots in the game of rugby. Now, rugby, do you know where rugby was started? Any idea?
England?
It was in England, but more specifically, it started at rugby school, which is why it's called rugby. There's an impressive school, been there a long time, called Rugby School. And there was a man called William Webb Ellis, and he used to play rugby, or at least he used to play football, the traditional game of football, at rugby school. And one day, for reasons I don't know and haven't been able to find out, playing football, he decided to pick the ball up and run with it. Now, this is kind of the most popular story that, or I don't know whether it's a myth, but this is how people say that the game of rugby started, and it took off because people then chased him, pulled him to the floor, and it just seemed a wholly more satisfying thing to do, I think, to grab someone and throw them around and grab the ball off them. So that's how that started at rugby school. Wow. I mean, interestingly, the game in this country split into two. It was in about 1895, something like that, where there was a big dispute on payments to players. Right. Anyway, the upshot was that one...
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.